Can we go to the salary cap now? So this has come up a few times in the last week. Firstly, we heard from your friend, in fact, Peter Swan, starting a WhatsApp group for the League Two. I'll say no more. The League Two managers, and that it had been talked about from the lower league managers. They were talking, I believe, about a £1,900 per week salary cap for a League Two player, £3,500 salary cap for a League One player. Simon Jordan, I don't know your views on him, ever outspoken. I do find it amusing when Joe Bloggs, the taxi driver, argues on TalkSport with a guy who's actually owned a football club that he's wrong. But there you go. So Simon Jordan said on the radio there needs to be a salary cap of 50% wage to turnover. That would save £395 million per year. I had a fun comment on my channel, Kieran, saying clubs asking for a salary cap is like an obese food addict asking Tesco not to put high-calorie food on the shelves. You know, in the it's their responsibility. We've had the example of the NFL having a salary cap since 1994, which is I tried to do some research, Kieran. I don't know if you understand it better than me, but I think there's a long algorithm and then there's what's against the cap and not against the cap is very confusing. All adjusted based on the revenues of the league. Is a salary cap realistic? And is my commenter right to say, well, come on, just get. Why do you need a salary cap? Why can't you just run your books properly? What's your view and on those numbers for League One and Two players?
Well, Simon Jordan's comments intrigued me because there is a salary cap in League One and League Two. It's been in existence for quite a few years. In League One, it's 60% of wages on income, and in League Two it's 50%. So it already exists. In terms of the comment from your YouTube channel, I'm inclined to agree with the poster. It's the equivalent of a parent going to McDonald's with their 6-year-old child, and the child demanding 3 milkshakes, and the parent saying, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it." You know it's wrong. But so just say no. It's not difficult. You know, if I go to my boss and ask for a 50 grand pay rise at the university, they just turn around and laugh at me and say no, and I go away. Just do the same in football. It's not difficult. So to have artificial caps, that is giving a complete cop out to the owners. They've just got to go and act in a pragmatic, sustainable, and responsible manner, and that way the wages won't get out of hand. But what we've seen in the lower leagues, in the EFL league, especially the Championship, where on average £107 in wages was spent for each £100 of income last season, and Reading stole the crown from Birmingham, which I never thought would be achieved. Reading managed 224. And they were 20th in the Championship.
Changed manager and had a relegation battle. Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily work. So I know what Simon's saying. I don't think he's done his research into the lower leagues because, as I say, the salary cap already exists. A salary cap also existed in the Premier League, but nobody, unless they're incredibly dull, i.e. me, actually reads the Premier League handbook when it comes out each August. And the handbook has said that you're only allowed to increase your wage bill by £7 million a year, plus any money you generate yourself. So
that's one player.
That's one player, exactly. But plus money you generate yourself. So if you get a new sponsorship deal, which is worth, it did exist. And what happened was that last July, the Premier League chairman voted to abolish it because it was starting to work. And you were having managers moaning that, oh, well, we want to go and sign this player, but we can't do because of the salary cap, blah, blah, blah. So the overseas owners, the billionaires, the oligarchs, the hedge funds and so on that own the Premier League, they just said, yeah, we want to indulge our manager. We're not interested in financial sustainability. We're going to scrap the wage cap. So League One and League Two have one. The Premier League had one, but it got rid of it. Now we come to the Championship. It won't work. And the reason why it won't work is that you've got clubs coming down from the Premier League on Premier League wages. And therefore, to have a hard cap, i.e., X £1,000 per week, can't work if you have. There was something in, I think Matt Law published in the Mail a couple of days ago. I'm not saying I'm a reader of the Daily Mail. I just get all football finance stories automatically come through to me. There are players on £3.5 million a year contracts in the Championship because they were signed in the Premier League. They turned down the relegation clause. The club caved in to the players' demands, and now we've got legacy issues. We saw that with Nikola Zigic at Birmingham City. He was in the Championship for 3 years on a £2.5 million a year contract. We had Jamie O'Hara sort of giving it the poor me routine when he was in League One with Wolves in playing in their reserves on a £2 million a year contract and things of this nature. So a hard cap, and by a hard cap I mean a limit per player per week, or an overall wage limit, simply wouldn't work in the Championship because the clubs would very quickly be in breach of contract. And those clubs who are in the bottom half of the Premier League, who are trying to recruit players to avoid relegation, the guys that signing would simply refuse to sign one, which said, oh, if you get relegated, you're going down from 50 grand a week to 5 grand a week.